Boy, do we have a treat for you if you're a fan of the Air Force, or you're a fan of football, or you're a fan of books.
Okay.
Because Chad Hennings is in studio with us right now, 3-time Super Bowl champ with the Dallas Cowboys,
Dallas
of course.
royalty, really.
But
Loyalty.
I would say so. Al, wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. It's not often we have two former NFL players in the same room at the same
thank you for bringing that up. Chat, Mr. Hennings, can you please recall your time spent with Big Al Mack as your teammate on the Dallas Cowboys, which he claims to have done?
They're trying to embarrass you, Troy. I'm about to call you Troy.
Oh, my God. Remember your teammates,
you embarrass
Al?
yourself just fine.
I'm that other white guy. No, as I said, I've been hit in the head so many times over 19 years of playing football. I can't remember what I did yesterday,
Well,
I
let
understand.
alone
Big Al tried out for the Scab team.
It was the year after they went 1 in
87, right? 86, 87.
somewhere up in there. After they went 1 in 15, I believe
Yeah.
it was. And I think it was after Troy's first year. I went out. It was the last year that they had open tryouts. And so I went to the old Texas Stadium with like 500 guys, and we ran the 2 40-yard dashes, and I was 4.9502. That was a little too slow, but thank you for coming out. And I just left and went home. They gave
And
me
he got a certificate.
I got
You
a
got the
certificate.
T-shirt to prove it?
I got a certificate, and they gave me a picture of the team that I wasn't on.
We've never seen it.
Yeah.
That's probably way different than your experience trying out.
Well, yeah. My experience was, I was drafted by the Cowboys, but I had a military obligation to serve going to the Air Force Academy. So I flew in the first Gulf War, did that. But with the downsizing that the Air Force did, reduction in force, they held my rights, retained my rights, but Tex Schramm and Clem Murchison had sold the team to Jerry Jones and to Coach Johnson at the time. They didn't know who the heck I was. So I kind of contacted them. They waived my commitment.
Yeah.
And I actually flew from London Heathrow Airport to Dallas to do a workout. Evidently impressed him enough. Sorry, Al.
Yeah.
That's what I read. Jimmy
lag.
Johnson was so impressed by your workout that he's like,
impressed that-
sign this guy.
How was
know,
your
I-
40?
Yeah, well, I could do a 4.78.
Oh, Al, and he's a lineman.
1/10 of a second separated me
Yeah.
and you.
Uh-huh. That was it.
Well,
Right.
about 8 or 9 inches in height and about and some other things. That talent. That might have been it.
That talent.
Chad, you flew 45 successful combat missions?
Yes, I did. I flew the A-10 Warthog. The tank killer, probably the ugliest airplane in the Air Force
Yeah.
inventory, but it packed a mean wallop and it had a big gun and it was a lot of fun to fly.
Were you married when you were in the military?
Yes, I was.
I feel for the military spouses so much because that every time you leave, you just don't know. Yeah.
And, I had a great time, but my wife probably would tell you a different perspective from that.
Yeah.
That, when we got word that we were going to deploy, we couldn't tell our families where we were going because of military secrecy. They didn't want to know where we were moving our assets around. So it's basically, hey, honey, love you. Taking off at midnight. We flew out of London or out of England, where I was based. Flew over to Incirlik, Turkey, and they had gotten word I ended up losing an engine on the flight, and I had to divert into Suda Bay, Crete. So she got word that I didn't make it all the way with the guys. So
Worst case scenario
and
immediately.
not where they're going. So she had a little bit of a stressful couple days.
Have you always been like the thrill seeker guy? Because if I'm not mistaken, you used to be a Harley guy. Maybe you still are.
Well, I used to ride.
Ride because I used to live
ride.
in Valley Ranch, and I would see your motorcycle outside Cowboy Sports Cafe before it was banned by your show. But I was like, man, that's a cool ass bike. Have you always been that kind of guy to be kind of on the edge?
It's not necessarily the thrill seeker. I'm not doing the body suits, the bat wing suits, flying that stuff. Right. But it's always wanted challenges, wanted to have new experiences, experience life. But it wasn't stupid stuff, but it was
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Risky.
Yeah.
You're like the definition of what all dudes want to be. You fly fighter jets. You were in the
Got
military.
Super Bowl
Wait a minute.
rings.
You got Super Bowl rings. I mean, most of us could pick one event in our lives where like that's it. That's the coolest thing that's ever happened. What is yours? Because you have so many events that have taken place.
Or do you think the coolest thing has happened?
Or yeah. That's a great.
That's a great attitude. That is a great, and I would subscribe more towards that there's always something better down the road. That I never, despite all the experience I've had, I never look back and say, wow, that was cool. It was a neat experience, but it's always what's next.
Hopefully you have
what's
wow.
next. And I think that's what keeps, me young mentally as well as physically.
See, I know. I already peaked. Like, I know. Like, I'm good. I made it.
on the way down.
And instead of, doing like other former athletes who maybe get a car dealership or open a cell phone store. You went the positive motivational speaking route. Is that what you?
I do a variety of different things.
Business.
Variety of different businesses. I'm not that I'm ADD, but I enjoy different challenges, and I enjoy relationships, and I enjoy building things. So I do commercial real estate. I have a commercial real estate company. I do a lot of business consulting with firms that do both commercial as well as federal contracts. And then, but my passion has always been public speaking. So I do a lot of motivational speaking. I do a lot of speaking on character, on ethics, on values. I've written a few books, and then I do a lot of faith-based things too for people in the church.
And your passion is
nice.
public speaking, and that's like the number one fear of most people is public speaking.
For me, it's kind of a way that I compete. I can't go out there and bang heads. I don't want to go out there and bang heads.
We could
anymore
use
on
it
the
this
football
Sunday.
field.
We could use it this Sunday, dog.
Yeah.
Come on. One more game.
One more.
Were you the pump up guy in the locker room at halftime? Did you do a lot of the speaking then?
No, I didn't. I was one of those guys that was kind of more soft-spoken, more one-on-one, and let my actions speak louder than my words. I was never a cheerleader.
You lead by example.
Yeah.
We're talking to Chad Hennings, former Dallas Cowboy. Now, you did play with Garrett back in the day, right? He was on your teams.
We were rookies together.
Is it awkward to see the backup quarterback now being like the head coach? Is it?
Not at all. He was one of those guys you knew he was destined to be a coach.
Incredibly smart.
Incredibly smart, student of the game, student of human nature, motivation. He's always looking, just as we just previously discussed, on how can I get better.
Right.
It's not about what I've accomplished, but tomorrow, what's next? And it's taken him a couple years to kind of right the ship and getting guys to buy into his system. But I think we'll see the fruit if we can stay healthy.
Exactly.
Did he ever try to trip Troy in the locker room? Like, Troy, I'm tired of holding this damn clipboard.
Put banana peels?
You are cussing a lot today.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Stop it.
He's Al Mack.
Oh.
He's
He
just
knows
like
how lazy he's been. You've been like cussing like 3 or 4 times.
Really?
Yes.
You feel like you're back in the Cowboys locker room.
I do. That's what we used to do before the game, Kevin.
Cuss a lot.
Right.
And now we're going to talk about how he's going to be speaking at my church.
Sure.
Oh,
And you over there
really?
cussing like a sailor.
You're speaking to Kelly's church?
Here, speaking at a father-son event here in a couple weeks.
Yeah. That's going to be at my church. My daddy
What's the
is
name of that church?
Parkway Hills Baptist Church.
All right.
It's the one on the toller with the big dome.
Oh, wow. They're going to have Babe's Chicken and Fixins there.
I'm there. You got babes and you got chicken. I'm there.
Well, you've got Chad Hennings, and that's the most
Right.
important thing. And so when you do speak at events, I mean, I'm sure you're asked to speak all the time. You talk a little bit about your military, a little bit about the Cowboys, a little bit about just everything.
About life. Yep.
Yeah.
Now you have your third book, Forces of Character. You just came out with that. And this is basically interviews between you and a bunch of guys that have done something in their lives, right?
Well, it was an interview that I sat down with 10 people that I deemed to be forces of character. And just to define a force of character, my definition is someone who lives to be their best self every day. They encourage others to do the same, and they encourage those entities that they're involved with, whether that be their business, a team, or community or family, to live to a higher noble purpose or cause. And I wanted to talk with, I've been very fortunate to have met a lot of cool people. And I wanted to get a broad demographic of people to sit down and have these conversations with that people could identify with. So, Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Jason Garrett, which everybody here in the North Texas region knows.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Greg Popovich.
How'd you
Coach
get that?
Spurs. We're both Air Force Academy graduates. And that was my connection with him. Interviewed Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, which was a phenomenal interview. I interviewed a survivor of Auschwitz, a international human rights attorney. Bob Sweeney, the director of Dallas Life, the homeless shelter, who is a nationally renowned expert on turning people from homelessness. Space Shuttle commander, former astronaut, and well as the CEO for the National Center on Fathering. So I've got both male, both female, black, white, people from all walks of life. But the one thing that they had in common, they're all forces of character, that they made decisions. Not that they didn't have adversity in their life, but in spite of the adversity that they faced, they made the right decisions.
They were the best version of what they could be.
That's all right.
Well, if somebody's listening and they're feeling down and they don't feel like they are a good version of what they could potentially be, do you have any steps that you could? How do you go about being so positive?
Well, for me, it's a choice. I mean, we have all choices in life, and I think that our culture today, so many times people like to play the blame game. It's not my fault.
Right.
And a lot of times it may not be your fault, but what you have the option, the choice to do is how you react to that. And one of the stories that I talk about in the book was talking with the survivor of Auschwitz. Her name was Dr. Edith Eger. Mm-hmm. She was a 16-year-old on the cattle car from Hungary going to Auschwitz, to Poland. And it was just her parents were separated. She was with her mother. It was her and her sister, and her mother walks up to her and basically in the cattle car, puts her hands around her face and says, Edie, we're not sure what's going to happen to us. We're not sure where we're going. We don't know what our future is. But always remember, they can't take away from you, and she points to her head, what you think up here. You always have a choice. Now, if she's going, and when they get there, her mother is sent to the gas chamber. I mean, she comes face to face with Joseph Mengele, the angel of death.
Wow.
She had to perform in front of him for his dinner. And this is a guy who murdered her family.
Yeah.
If she could choose to forgive, what's my excuse?
Wow.
For people that, that's when you're faced with that extreme aspects of depravity of humanity, and she had a choice, what's my excuse?
That's deep.
Wow. I mean,
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I guess
sure.
you surround yourself with people that have done extremely great things with their lives. You're bound to do something great. I mean, that's what you're doing.
I hope it inspires you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does, right?
But it's, relationships matter. Who you hang out with matters. Do they raise you up or they bring you down? The choices in life, and that's the thing. Life is a series of choices. The decisions you make today will impact your tomorrow. So cognitively think about it. Can you be a force of character? And that's what I want to relate to get to people, moms, dads, kids, businessmen, whoever. Character is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
Great
get to
book.
choose if you want to smile and be happy or you want to sulk in the moment, right? That's what, and people say that to me all the time. They say, "How do you stay so upbeat and happy and goofy?" And it's like, I just want to. I just.
And how do you put that in a book, Jason?
Not always.
That's why I need to talk to Chad about it.
Sorry, don't need your book, Chad.
I just want to
gonna
do it.
want to.
I just want to. Now, if you want to check out the Father and Son Fall Banquet, it's Sunday, November 15th. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. It's at Kelly's Church.
Parkway Hills Baptist Church in Plano. And here's the thing, it is a father and son banquet, but it's open to all men, even if you don't have a son.
Yeah.
Maybe your father's passed away, or maybe you know a young man that needs some mentoring. You could be a positive example. I mean, because your message is probably very encouraging for men.
Exactly. $20 per person.
Yeah, that's a deal.
Or you can get a full table for $200. Chad Hennings, it's so cool that you gave me your book. I hope I get to keep it.
Yeah, the book is called Forces of Character, Conversations About Building a Life of Impact. That'd be a great gift to give this holiday season. Is that on Amazon?
You can go to forcesofcharacter.com.
Okay.
Or you can get on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all your major distributive outlets.
Right. And if you want to find out more about the banquet that Chad's going to be speaking at on November 15th, we'll have a link on kidnation.com.
Yeah.
That'd be the easiest way for everybody to find that.
And is there a website you have, Chad, where people can get a hold of you or look up your
They
work?
can go to chadhennings.com or they again, forcesofcharacter.com also.
Okay.
Either way.
Okay, before you leave, what do we look like for the rest of the season? Are we gonna make the playoffs first of all?
No,
Tony
I
needs to
think
come back.
so.
That's what needs to happen.
Last week was a heartbreaker. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a game they should have won.
Right.
Again, too many mistakes. If they can hold it together in the locker room, get over their incident that they had last week,
Right.
get guys healthy. Defense is going to be okay. It's just Dez will be back, and we'll wait and
Right.
see, if how much longer Tony's going to be out.
They need you in the locker room because these meltdowns are post halftime. They need you in there. Talk them out of it. Coach them out of it.
And I did pick the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl this year in my football picks.
You did.
I did.
Sorry about that.
Only if we get Chad
a lot
back.
of fantasy teams have been
Oh,
ruined
man.
this year.
Ruined.
Do you think me and you have a chance of going back out there and giving it just one more go?
Chad, I think,
get bent in half. Been there, done that. No need to go back anymore, man.
Figure that out. No need to go back.
Yeah, I just want to go back one more time, Kelly. Just one more time out on that field and hear the
Failing
crowd.
once wasn't enough. You're going to fail again.
What was your number again, Alan, when you played for the Cowboys? Because
well-
Chad was number 95.
Yeah, I was. It seemed like I was 27, 4,
274.
274. That's why I was 274.
274.
Yeah,
There you
you'll
go.
see me.
Yeah. I'm being told, Chad, you can't go yet. Ryan, who runs our Kid TV, wants to ask you a question, and from time to time we allow him to speak to celebrities.
All right, come on, Ryan.
And
What do you
Ryan,
got?
go ahead.
So I was in the 8th grade, and it was went to a restaurant after a Friday night football game, and I was so excited because Charles Haley was at the restaurant I was at. And I had a cast on, and I was just scared to go and ask him to sign my cast. And so my mom went and did it for me. And so then I get up there, and he's like, dude, what are you doing having your mom come up to you? And then he just punches me, and I go flying backwards.
Charles is kind of crazy.
And he just like knocked me off these stairs backwards, like, hey, come on, next time you come do it. So
what's your question for Chad Hennings?
Have you ever punched a child, Chad? No, I'm just kidding.
So I got one defensive lineman to punch me. So now I'm just thinking I should get get all of them. You know, maybe find Leon Led and Jim Jeffcoat later.
Oh my gosh, seriously?
Could you just
Ryan,
you got 100% power, but just a little sock in the shoulder.
Ryan, you weigh like 100 pounds.
Masochist there.
Yeah.
So what side did Charles hit you on? Do you remember?
Yeah, he hit me on
So I got to hit you on your right side.
Yeah,
then.
right.
Yeah, make it even.
Oh
Just
my!
so you know the
Yeah.
pain. So you want a closed fist or open hand?
Oh my God!
He did closed fist.
So just a nice love bump.
Nice love bump.
I repeat, this is Ryan's idea.
TCU Horned Fog, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well that's good.
Get him, Chad! I think Ryan's dead.
I love when a man actually hits when he's asked to. I've never seen that.
If you're gonna ask for it, you're gonna get it. You know,
goes Ryan. Oh,
You're right.
All in love and war, guys.
dude, that was like a Bruce Lee hit, Chad. Like you didn't even go that back.
oh my God, that was awesome. That was. Did you hear that?
I'm out of breath.
Can you breathe, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm good. It was just like a jolt of, oh my gosh, it happened. Holy crap.
You knocked his man bun loose.
It was hilarious.
Perfect.
I can't believe you actually hit him.
I think I heard his lung rupturing.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chad.
Awesome. Bye.